guys, welcome to my channel. This week we're gonna paint in oil on canvas. Since I didn't prime well my surface, it was really hard to paint on that surface. And yeah, I'll explain a little bit more later about what happened. We're going to be painting a slice of cake, and this painting was not a piece of cake for me. Okay, let's get started. This week I started in a little bit of a different way. I felt confident in my skills and decided that I was gonna paint this kind of alla prima. Even if this is not a real alla prima, I did my sketch with a new rigger brush that I've just purchased, and with some white I went and sketched my slice of cake. Sometimes deciding what to paint can be tough. This week I had a couple of commissions, and I wanted to get to paint the weekly painting pretty fast. I wanted to basically do a sketch, and I thought, oh yeah, my daughter had her birthday last weekend, and I had this cake that I baked with my husband, and it was still frozen in the fridge. And the night after the party, I decided that I wanted to have another piece, and that's why I called it the after party. I had this very strong artificial light coming from the top, and I thought this is gonna be a fast kind of a geometrical painting, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just go really fast. This is not a full portrait, and as usual, when you think like that, then it's always the painting that makes you sweat the most, because you're kind of underestimating what you are painting. First of all, I didn't fully comprehend what I was gonna do, and I decided to use a canvas that was originally stained for another painting idea, and so it had this round cad red circle in the center. My painting, this slice of cake, is mainly using white, so a lot of white, and because I'm still learning, and this is it is exactly what I wanted my YouTube channel to be, a journey together while I learn how to paint it, and it's a really difficult task. It's really tough. It takes a lot of work, a lot of patience, and a lot of consistency. And so this painting is mainly about the use of white, right? And in my palette, I have always used titanium white. Titanium white is a very opaque color, and I know it's a very cool color. So any color you add to titanium white, it's gonna make it cooler. Okay, so I know that, and I thought, okay, as usual, I'm gonna play with warm and cool, even if the main color is titanium white. And so I decided to go with a cooler temperature white for the plate, and a warmer temperature kind of white for the cutting board that is underneath. Problem was that I was not using any medium. So oil paint can be really hard sometimes, and I find especially titanium white, because it's so opaque, it's kind of like almost a solid color, right? So it's difficult to spread it and to use it. And I am using a cotton canvas that is not a very high quality here. So it's very rough, and it's very difficult for the brush to apply the paint without going and create dry brushes. Dry brushes, I am not a huge fan of paintings that are all based on dry brush, work, so I really had to fight against the surface, against the consistency of the paint without using a medium, and also fight with the priming that I did of that red underneath that was really coming out and making feel my painting really dirty. You know, like you think, okay, a painting of a slice of cake. So something really pop, fun, a light subject, but at the same time, when you use mainly white, it's like you have to realize that this color, it's never gonna look clean in his real whiteness if there is another color underneath. So it was really tough for me to make it look white when that cut red was fighting to come out, and it was really I don't know, like fluorescent underneath. I liked it a little bit because it gave a little bit of a warmness to the painting, which I probably wouldn't have had if I didn't have it underneath. But at the same time, it wasn't necessary. And when you place a color underneath as a priming, you should always think about what the effect is gonna be. And so, you know, when I was doing a cool white for the plate, I was placing white and a little bit of cobalt blue, and the red would come out and it would look purple. And I didn't like to have a purple plate, so I had to really push and add my paint really thick, and I went through a lot of paint for this painting, and it was like physically hard to actually apply the paint. So while I was painting the slice of cake, I was thinking about the work of Thiebaud. Thiebaud is an American painter who lived in the pop art era, but his paintings are really not as in the pop art style if you look closely to them. He is actually using a very expressionistic way of painting with very thick paint application and very expressive strokes, and I like that. At the same time, I think that his work celebrates American culture, and of course, being me an Italian who lived in the States for many years, I am also thinking about American culture while I paint this. Some part of the American culture that I don't necessarily like is their culture about food. The way food is perceived in the States is all about entertainment, and is also seen just as fuel to keep the body machine going, which is very opposite to the view that Italian people and French and Spanish, you know, European, but mainly Southern European, I would say, Greek, have this different view of food as part of our culture, and dinner is always the moment of conversation, and so food is actually also seen as a way to heal your body. So for me, this slice of cake all of a sudden became the symbol of all of this, and it was such a big slice. It was really American size, with the huge strawberry on top, the chocolate ganache really thick on top, and it had a really defined shadow coming towards us instead of the opposite way, which is a little bit unusual, and it made it look a little scary, almost like a ship, a really heavy ship sailing towards us. And that was kind of what it became, the meaning of this painting. That's why I called it After Party. Another painter that I have just discovered actually, and I love, is Euan Uglow. Probably not saying his name right, and I discovered a couple of paintings of cakes of his. I was stunned of the use of geometry. Looks like he was really able to get down to the essence of what he was painting. He is more famous for his nudes and his still lifes, and he worked really slowly, and I read that he was producing 3 paintings a year because everything had to be in a certain way. And even if there are not many elements in his paintings, I can see the complexity of it. I really am thinking recently about how complex it is to simplify things. It's actually really easy to get involved with a bunch of details, and instead it's difficult to be able, with a few strokes, to summarize what you want to say. Even if I did struggle, I was able at the end to get a clear geometry out of it, but I still wanted the painting to be animated. And that's why I decided to paint those cups in the background with Mickey Mouse, which is also a reminder of the fact that we are in the States, and this is some kind of tribute to pop culture and American culture in general, this painting. Again, it was really difficult to handle titanium white, because the problem is that titanium white is very opaque, and I had to fight against the background, and I wasn't able to get any transparency. The transparency in paint is really what gives breath to the image, and this image, I find it to be very heavy at the end. So I think that my lesson for this painting was difficult to deal with titanium white in big quantities without making the image feel very heavy. Next week we'll probably deal again with white and see if we can handle it in a different way and see what the results will be. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.